Please hang up and try again. Please hang up and try again.
Greetings all. Thought I'd make another little video to remind myself how to do certain things, and if this can help you, then that's a good thing. So I found the other day that I had nearly 3,500 duplicates in iTunes, and I thought, well, that can't be true. It's almost impossible to have that many. However, for some unknown reason, I did have, and now removed them using a nice piece of software. iTunes itself, I'm going to have a bit of a whinge here, is appallingly designed. The UI for it is bad, and it makes no sense. It functions perfectly if you have got the patience to sort of wander around and do stuff, but it really doesn't work like some of the other bits of software out there. However, we're kind of stuck with it in a way, unless you completely jump ship. So I had to remove these things. There's a quick way to find out whether or not you have any duplicates, and that is to go into View, go down here, and you should see something called Show Duplicate Items. So if you click that, it will go through and assess. However, you have to be in your music to do that. So if I do that again, it's now going to have a bit more of a think, and there's a whole bunch more. It doesn't say how many, but there's a whole bunch more. And so, as you can see, there's quite a lot to choose from. The interesting part about these duplicates is that they have the same name, possibly. Their timings are different, and the album name could also be different. So it's very difficult to isolate specific tracks. So if you have the time and you don't get bored very easily, you could just keep going down and going, yes, I want this one, yes, I want this one, yes, I want this one, and kind of waste your life, really, as far as I can see. However, the situation is this: getting bored to death is not on most people's agenda. So how can you get around this? I found some very interesting software. It's not complicated. Its UI is not brilliant. However, it does the job, and it makes it relatively simple. It's got a good filtering system in this. It's called Idupe, and it works very simply. You highlight from wherever you want to within your music the area you want tested, and I've noticed that if let's say so we're in displaying duplicates, so we've got all these duplicates, so I'm going to do done. But if you click your top song, which actually wasn't my top song, if you click the top song and then skim down to the bottom song, hold down shift, that's highlighted all the songs in your library. Then if you then go over to here and do scan selection for duplicates, now this program only works with selected, and now it's going to sit there and munch away to find out whether or not there are any duplicates. Now before I did this and I didn't get any, but sorry, that's not quite true. Before, when I did this, I had over 3,500, and it took me still an hour or so to get rid of the damn things, because they wanted authorization for each track to actually dump it. However, I'm hoping that this won't be finding anything. So in the meantime, whilst it's doing the scan, we have within the program under the info is the ability to sort of read up on what it's doing and how it's doing it, and the quick start. Then you've got your scan settings. These are, I have to say, pretty good as a default. You can fine tune them, and the information does help you to sort of fine tune them a tad more, which is quite good. And you can use a lot of its functions to modify and change the way it's going to look at your library. So under actions, it's now going to assess the library, and so it will work with 300 tunes at a time. So it takes batches of 300. I think that the maximum you can do is like 25,000 songs, something like that. So it's going to sit here and go through them, and what will happen is it will give you a playlist of tunes that it believes are duplicates, and then you can go through manually, tick and untick, or you can go through this one, which is the automatic version, and basically it will just find which one that it believes. Then you can say, yep, I agree with that, they are duplicates, and then you can come down to these three, which is the removal part of this. So it's not a complicated system, I have to say. Apart from this last part could end up being a little bit more complicated than you might want it to be. Right, so I had 6,830 tracks selected. The report says I have 1. Total tracks 1. Okay, that's interesting. So let's go back to actions. So in here, it believes there is that one single track, and what it does, it physically removes the tick. Right, I haven't got a blooming clue what it's going to be, but there we go. It's this one. Oh, that was quite quick to find. So this is basically the only one it's found, and so because it's found one, it could find thousands, but because it just found the one, it's unticked it, and if it's unticked, the next protocol is how you want to delete it. This is the thorough method, which takes it off of iTunes and out of the library. And if you do this, and I will do this now, it asks you for authorization. And when I had loads of them in there, I started off typing my password in hundreds of times until I worked out that it's probably easier to physically go along and take off the password, and that saved me an awful lot of time. And that's it. So it removed 3 tracks that it believed that were dicey, although it did say 1. That's interesting. Okay. Obviously, before it does the deleting process, it will give you the chance to assess exactly what's going on and whether or not it should be taken off, and you get the opportunity to retick it should that be the case. And under here we've got refresh iTunes selection, check all marked selected in iTunes, and reverse the check. So it's one of these things where you now have the ability to put it all back to normal. So realistically, that is all this program is. There's not much more to it than that. All I can say is, now you've removed them, I have physically tried to put duplicate tracks in, and it seems that iTunes won't allow a duplicate track in. So it has to be different enough from a previous track to actually allow it to go in, which is a good thing, because in the past you could bung anything you liked in at all, so it must have some sort of built-in filtering. Right, I hope that's of some use to you. This is about $8, and it is shareware, so you can actually use it for nothing. Although it would be really, really nice if it did what you wanted to actually sort of say thank you to the developer and give him a little bit of cash for his hard work. Right, well, if there's any questions, basically look in the info because it tells you everything. It will be listed under here, so it's very, 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 very concise, I have to say. I wish you a jolly good evening, and I'll come back with something else. Thanks very much. Goodbye.